What's up, y'all? It's Alicia and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you. I'm so glad to have you. I hope you like what you see and enjoy. And go ahead and decide to subscribe and become a part of this family, okay? If you like books, fitness, fashion, beauty, lifestyle, any combination of those, any one of those, it doesn't matter. I'm your girl, okay? So I hope you decide to stick around. Go ahead and subscribe just in case you forget before this video is over. I'm gonna remind you again, but go and subscribe now so you don't have to get the reminder. Okay? But yeah, so thank you. As you can see by the title of this video, I'm doing my top 10 books of 2024. Okay? I'm a little late. I'm a little late, but I'm fashionably late, as I should be. Okay, you already know. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm not gonna waste y'all time. Y'all know I like to talk. we gonna try to get through this in a timely fashion. Okay, so yeah, I got my set right here. We gonna get to it. Okay, so these books are in order. I did order them. The last five are a little bit looser order than the top five. The top five is secure. Okay, the top five is secure. These bottom five, they the bottom five. I know that for sure. The order, take it with a grain of salt. Okay. But yeah, so let's get into it. First up, we got in the number 10 spot, Queen Bee. Now this is a YA fiction book by Amali Howard, and I feel like this was a very interesting pick. Sorry, my nose itching. This is a very interesting pick. I feel like it was probably unexpected for this to be in my top 10. But I don't know, y'all. This book left an imprint on me, and I can't shake her. I can't shake her. Like, oh my gosh, I would love to read another book like this. Like, I would love to read another book like this. Queen Bee is it's a YA book, mind you. Queen Bee is about this girl named Lady Ella. Okay, so she is growing up. They're rich. Think Queen Charlotte. Think Bridgerton. I haven't seen Bridgerton, but I've seen Queen Charlotte, so I'm gonna reference Queen Charlotte. I'm gonna reference what I know. So think the Queen Charlotte era. Okay, so Lady Ella, she's the lady, you know. She has a little bit of status, a little bit of stature. She has his best friend that doesn't have any status, but she's tucking her coattails because she wants status. But Lady Ella is less vocal. She's not as outspoken as her best friend, anything like that. But she the one with the status. Remember that. She the one with the status. And so her best friend is hanging on to her coattails, baby, trying to get her to go wherever so she can go wherever. And yeah, and then this new boy comes into town. He got status. He got more status than Lady Ella. So he really the big dog. But the best friend is trying to get close to him. Okay? And Ella is like, she unfazed. She like, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it cool. Trying to be on my ones and twos. Keeping it low key. Or whatever. And so they recognize each other, like they meet up or whatever. And the best friend, she interested in him. She like him. And she trying to like get Ella to like meet him so she can meet him and so she can be around him, whatever. Like, she's trying to wiggle her way in to get some status. It's all about the status. And basically something happens to where the best friend throws Ella under the bus and Ella gets banished from the town. And she's sent off to boarding school. Legacy gone. And it takes you on the story of her going from her town to boarding school and how that really like basically traumatized her. And now she's trying to get her lick back. Basically, that's really what's going on. She getting her lick back. And when I tell y'all, this book was so good. She got her lick back. I don't know. She got her lick back, but it's like, oh, it was so good. It was so good. I I said it, I explained it that way because I don't want to spoil it, because I'm getting excited. I'm getting giddy because I really enjoyed the book, and if I start talking too much, I'm gonna tell it. I ain't trying to tell it, I ain't trying to ruin it. But honestly, if you are a fan of Queen Charlotte or Bridgerton, from what I know of Bridgerton, because by way of Queen Charlotte, you will enjoy this book. It is messy. You would think these are adults, but it's like children. This is messy. And I ate it up. I loved it. This was really like one of the best books I read this year. So that's why it's in my top 10. And yeah, I really love this book. So this is Queen Bee by Amali Howard. I really hope that she writes another book like this. Or if anybody has recommendations for another book like this, please, y'all, please send them my way. Because I need to read more of the royal mess. Like, and I think I read this around the time that Kate was missing or something like that. And there was a little bit of mess going on in the royals for real, in real life. I said, oh, we got a little crossover episode. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. So Queen Bee by Molly Howard taking the number 10 spot, the number 9 spot. Remember, this is the loose bottom 5. The Partner Plot by Christina Forrest. Y'all, I love this book. This was amazing. This is the second book in the Green Sister series. The first book is The Neighbor Favor, and I read that one in January of 2024, and then I read this one when it came out, and I was just like, I was already in love with the series, and I was already in love with the first book. I really enjoyed it, but this one blew it out the water for me, because it was just a second chance romance, a good spin the block moment. It was a little messy, a little bit of fake dating. I really enjoyed it because I had read the first book, I got the backstory, and then this one fill in some blanks. I said, oh, yeah, need that about you, because it was so good. It was so well written. It really made me enjoy Christina Forrest's writing, and because I had already enjoyed it from reading The Neighbor Favorite, but this really just sealed the deal for me, because it said, oh girl, you thought that was good? This was even better. And the third book in the series comes out in February, and I'm just so ready for it. I'm so ready for it. But yeah, so this one is about Violet, and the part of the synopsis says 2 former high school sweethearts get a second chance in this marriage of convenience romance by Christina Forrest. So yeah, there you go. I would definitely, if you are a rom-com girly, you will love this. I don't have like a TV movie reference or anything like that for it, but I liked it. I really loved it. It was a good book. So that is my number 9 book of the year. My next book, this is why I kind of say it's kind of hard to solidify this bottom 5, because I read Their Eyes Was Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston, and this was a book I read this in, I think, May of this year, 2024, and at the time I was reading it, I was really just like, it took me a minute to get into. It was because the writing was throwing me off, and the verbiage of the dialogue was throwing me off. It really bothered me, honestly, but I really enjoyed this book, and I enjoyed the story, and it really made me appreciate the classics, and I kind of began to get infatuated with being acquainted with the classic reads, and like the books that are revered, and especially in Black culture specifically, like by authors like Zora Neale Hurston, James Baldwin, Bell Hooks. Like, those are the things that I want to read about, because I know they hold so much weight, especially in Black culture, and this really set the tone for that for me. And I really, once I got into the story, I was just hooked in like the most empathetic way of being hooked to a story, because it really, like, you really learn the story. The story is about a girl named Jamie, and you really go with her, and she's like retelling the story of her life basically, and you learn how she felt unwanted. She just wanted to be loved, but she was taught to basically choose survival over love when all she really wanted was love. It's just a very like heart tugging story, because especially because of the way the ending. And I really love this book. It really changed the way I view things, and the way I kind of like approach um going into the classics, and it kind of altered the way I was looking at reading a little bit more, because I don't know, I was already kind of in deep. I had already read plenty of books by the time I got to this one, but it just changed my perspective on reading. Because I am reading for fun, but this one was probably the first book that I took more from. I would say that, because I took things from all the books, but most of them were like lighthearted and fun and like, girl, what's going on? But this one I took more from, because it made me be a little bit more compassionate and empathetic to people, because at the end of the day, majority of us just want love, and we are often um, challenged with choosing love over survival or survival over love, and it's just an interesting dynamic and position to be in, especially during the time that this was written, because this one was written um, after slavery, but it was still fresh, like, you know. But yeah, this was like one of the most heart touching reads to me. And yes, I really enjoyed it, and like I said, it made me want to dive deep into classics and reading the more revered authors. So um yeah, this was the Eyes of Washing God. This is the anniversary cover edition, but I really love this, and I really want to read more of Zora Neale Hurston this year. So yeah, but the Eyes of Washing God is number 8, excuse me, in my top 10. Next up, we got Elevator Pitch. Elevator Pitch by Evelyn Lay. I love this book, y'all. Honestly, I just loved it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a great read. I was fully entertained. Very much, I'm a true rom-com girly. I love to laugh, and it was very much that. It wasn't as deep, and it wasn't as deep as a lot of the books, but like, it still had moments that were, and it was just a fun read to me, honestly. But I really enjoyed it. It kind of just made me question some things, made me wonder some things, made me ask myself some questions, and it just made me think a little bit more in the most fun, romantic way. It kind of made me think about, oh, let me tell y'all what it's about. So it's about Selah, and she is an anxious homebody determined to become the main character in her own story, and she embarks on a fresh path and creates an effort list with goals to force her out of her comfort zone. Okay? Period. That's basically what it's on. It's about Selah trying to accomplish all things on her effort list, and she ends up tagging in her neighbor to help her complete things on the list. Okay? But yeah, this just made me think. It made me really just get wrapped up in a world of fun, in a world of romance, and very much just embrace what it would be like to just fully exist in the Lover Girl world. And have that be reciprocated. So yeah, I love this book, loved it down, and yeah, very much deserving deserving of a spot in my top 10. So yeah, she's that girl. In this series, so the next book comes out later in the fall of 2025. The next book on the list is All About Love by Bell Hooks. This was a no-brainer. I knew it was going to be in here. Honestly, this book changed my brain chemistry, and it altered the way I think, because it made me really dive deep to understand love, what it means to me, and it just challenged a lot of the ways that I've been taught love and taught to understand love and taught to perceive love. It just challenged all of those ways and really made me just sit and really consider some of the experiences that I've had and question if I was really feeling like I was loved or not in those moments. And for that reason, it's one of my top books of the year, because I just this year, 2024, was a year of, I would say it's been a growth year, and it's been a year of self-discovery, and just trying to figure out more about what I want and what I want to experience. And yeah, so I just reading this, I felt like it was a very timely thing for me to read. Just because of my own experiences and the way that I view life and view love, it just made me want to dive deeper into it. And so, yeah, it altered my brain chemistry, and I'm very glad that I read it. This was also one of the books that made me want to dive deeper into the revered authors like Bell Hooks and like Toni Morrison. So yeah, this is a series as well. It's the next book is Communion and Salvation. It's the last book, I believe. And I got Chameleon recently, so I will be reading that soon. But yeah, in this book, I was fully expecting to cry because I kept hearing it's gonna make you cry. It didn't really necessarily make me cry, but it just did make me reevaluate some things. So yeah, All About Love by Bell Hooks. The next book is Charlene Obubi's. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. But this is Between Friends and Lovers. If you watch my reading wrap up, you already know how I feel about this book. Honestly, this was one of the best books I read because, baby, it just, this was a very layered read. So it goes into a story of friendship and love and really just figuring out your worth and what you want. So it goes into the life of Josephine Boateng, or Dr. JoJo, and she has this crush on her best friend, and she's been had it, and it's never been clearly reciprocated, and she's just been floating in the air until her best friend shows up at a party with her childhood bully on her arm, and it just makes her be like, you really just don't care about me, basically. And it kind of like wakes her up in the most aggressive way, to the point where she's just like, yeah, I don't even want to be in this friendship with you no more, because you don't really see me as a friend, let alone a potential partner. And it just shakes her up to the point where she's just like, F you, we move. So this was a very layered story. It kind of goes into like social media and depression, and navigating the world between that and also love and scandal. So yeah, this is a really good book. This was my second book by her. I read On Rotation earlier this year. I recommend both. This is my favorite of the two. On Rotation reminded me a lot of Insecure. This one, it doesn't have a particular thing it reminds me of, but I really enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend reading it. So yeah, it definitely has to go on the top 10 list. Okay. Next up is This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. Are you surprised? Are you surprised? You should not be. I read both. What's the one before? I read Before I Let Go and This Could Be Us back to back. I wish I would have waited a little bit longer because the third book featuring Hendrix does not come out until May. I wish I would have waited a little bit longer, but honestly, I just had to see what the hype was about. I just had to see. Excuse me. I just had to see. I had to see, and it was very well hyped, very well hyped, and very deserving of the hype. I love this book. I love this book. Love this book. Love this book. Love this book. Out of the two in the series, the first two in the series, this is my favorite one because y'all, this was so, granted, both of them messy, a little messy, but this one, oh my gosh, this one takes you on a ride, baby. I mean, buckle up, cause yeah, you finna be on, you gonna be on that ride, and it's a very well enjoyed ride. I enjoyed every minute of it. I enjoyed every minute of it, honestly, because the way I was set for this book, oh my gosh. So this book features Soledad. She's one of the friends in the series, in the Scotland series by Kennedy Ryan. And Before I Let Go, you kind of hear about her and her marriage, and you can already kind of sense that it's something going on up in there. You know, some of the milk ain't clean. But you see how dirty that milk is when you read this, because a scandal. So you find out that Soledad is in this marriage, and basically she's unhappy, but she's trying to make it work. And then you figure out that no matter what she do, it was gonna be destroyed anyway, because her husband, he ain't been living right. He ain't been living right, y'all, and it just blows up everybody's faces. And it leaves Soledad to it blows up in everybody's faces, and it leaves Soledad to pick up the pieces. And it's just a very sobering thing to read, because her life just got flipped upside down, and by no fault of her own. And she's here to pick it up, and she's also got to put on a brave face, or feels like she got to put on a brave face for her daughters, her children, and she don't even, now she realizes she don't even know what she wants or what she likes out of life anymore. So she's like on her own self-discovery journey and self-love journey, and she's also trying to figure out if she wants to pursue. She's trying to figure out if she wants to pursue another man that also played a role in this scandal on a different side. So I probably did a horrible job. I'm so sorry of that description. I'm trying to not spoil it, y'all. I want to leave as much mystery to it. If you ain't read it yet, because baby, let me tell you something. This is a ride that you need to go in blind for. You don't want to know what goes on. Don't even read the back. Don't even read the back. I promise you. I read the back and was still blown away, because there's nothing on the back give it away. But when I say you need to go full in blind, nah. You need to go in blind. But yeah, I really love this book. This book is what inspired me to read Bell Hooks. I read it first because I already got aware that Kennedy Ryan references All About Love in his book. So I wanted to read it first, but you don't necessarily have to. I do recommend reading All About Love just because it's a great read and it kind of does reinforces some of the things that this book talks about. But yeah, this one, love her. Love her. Kennedy Ryan, the queen you are. But yeah. Next up, Somebody's Wife by Robbie Renee. Let me tell y'all something. I love me a good mess. What can I say? I love the mess in the books. I keep it in the books and keep it out of the real life. I love the mess in the books. I love it because this book was messy. So messy. So messy. So, quick synopsis. Am I gonna... If you watch my last book, my reading wrap up, you already know what it is. Go watch that. But I'm gonna tell you what it is about anyway. Okay? Just saying, still go watch it. But yeah, so Somebody's Wife features a very well-known couple in this small town, and they are college sweethearts, and they work at the college they went to, and they were very known because the husband is awarded. Is it, what's the word? Anyway, the husband is an Olympic track athlete, and the wife was homecoming queen. They both work at the school, and both they have like a great status at the school, right? And they have the quote unquote perfect marriage. It ain't perfect, baby. It's a little, some of the milk ain't clean over there either. Okay, it's a little murky. The waters is murky. And yeah, you kind of just go into it and you see kind of how their marriage has changed from inception to present day, and you see them cracks and you see somebody to fill gap. So that's all I will say on that. But yeah, this one did what it needs to do. I read the sequel too, did what it needs to do. I love this book. I loved it. So now I know, Robbie Renee, I'm buying whatever you put out. I'm buying whatever you put out straight like that because you did your big one this mama. I ain't even gonna hold you. You did it. Yeah. We down to the last two. Okay, so the next book I read, not next book I read, what am I saying? Okay, so next up on the list is Only for the Weak by Natasha Bishop. Baby, you already know. If you've been here for a minute, do you already know what it is with me in this book? You already know because Rome he ain't play. Him, baby, the men in these stories and these books, they earned their spot because him, Dr. Ezekiel Green from Somebody's Wife, and this next one and this last book, oh, they ain't play. Love them down. That was for them. And honestly, that's the thing about reading romance books. Now I don't want to date nobody unless you come like these fictional men. Because if somebody can make these characters up in their head, you can act like this in real life. And I'm not taking no for answer. So, yeah, get it together or not at all. Or leave me alone. And that's really how I'm coming because Rome, baby, Rome, rented a... I ain't gonna say too much. Just know, Rome ain't play about this lady. And rightfully so. Because they was on here playing with her and playing her face. Let me tell you what's going on. So, because the book, if I read the back, it's not going to make sense. So, this book features Janelle. Okay, so Janelle and her sister Janelle and her friends are out in, I think they was in Turks and Caicos. They was out on vacation somewhere for her sister's wedding. Her sister is getting married to Janelle's ex. Red flag number one. Red flag number one. Because, what? But we move. Janelle, like, I don't care. They actually make more sense than we did. I'm not pressed about it. I'm only pressed because y'all think I'm pressed about it. Understood. I understand. And so Janelle is stressed out because her sister and her mother are bugging her because they think that she had a problem with her sister marrying her ex-boyfriend, which rightfully so, cause I would have had a problem with it, but y'all wouldn't have been married if it was me. But she don't have a problem with it. She cool. She like, it makes sense that they're together. So the only people that are getting on her nerves is bothering her are her sister and her mom. And Rome sees this and he's like, let me take care of you. And he do that. He do exactly that. I love it. I love a fairy tale. I love fairy tale. I'm a love a girl down. I need that in real life. But until then, I'm gonna read these books and pretend I'm there. So, yeah, I read this book twice. Maybe 3 times this year. Yeah, I got down. I ain't play. I love this book. I loved it. And I'm going to get the newer copy. And I hope it's something. I hope it's a little extended version in the back because I didn't want it to end, y'all. That's how good this book was. She did not play. She did not play. So, yeah, Natasha, I'm going to get more of her books. It happened in Tulum. I said Turks and Caicos. It happened in Tulum. But I'm going to get more of Natasha's books because this really set the tone for what to expect from her writing. And so I cannot wait. All right, so drum roll for the #1 book on the top 10 of 2024. You already know. If you watch my last read and wrap up, you already know what it is. A love song for Ricky Wilde. Okay, a love song for Ricky Wilde. My top book of 2024. That's the #1. Y'all, Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky, I ate this book up, loved it down, glued to these pages. I mean, you could not pry the book out of my hands. I was so locked into this book. Okay, this book is about Ricky Wilde. And Ricky Wilde is basically the black sheep. She's the oddball of the family. And she doesn't want to be in the family business. She actually wants to be in a complete opposite business of what they got going on, but nobody believes in her. She's the youngest, she's the oddball, the black sheep. And basically she's like, I'm gonna prove all y'all wrong. So she sets herself to go off to Harlem, and this is where things get a little interesting. Because what's waiting in Harlem? She never thought. She never thought. So when she gets to Harlem, she ends up getting twisted up in a fate that she didn't know was hers. That she got twisted up in something that she really had nothing to do with. And you see her basically fight for her life and fight for love. And it's just a wonderful story that is surrounding black love and the Harlem Renaissance and the culture and the history of Harlem in general. And you also seeing like a fresh take, a very well written take on starting fresh. And I needed that right now. Okay, I needed that because that's really how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like starting all over. But I love this book so bad. I love the Harlem Renaissance. I love music. I love black culture. I love love. I love romance. Y'all, I just fell in love with this book so much that I just did not want it to be over. Did not want it to be over. I not frequently, because I just like read it not too long ago. But like I kept going back to reread it from like the halfway mark. But I'm definitely gonna give this a full reread. I might read it again. I might start reading it again tonight, honestly, but it's just a book that I would love to reread over again for the first time because of how good it was. And I just That's just an irreplaceable feeling when a story was that good. You would want to go in blind for the first time and just like feel that all over again. This book honestly changed me. It changed me. It changed my life. Changed the way I viewed a lot of things and changed the way that I would like to be loved because Ezra Ezra loved her. They loved each other, but Ezra loved her. And it was just such a beautiful story. And I definitely recommend anybody and everybody to read this. So if you have not, this should definitely be on your radar for 2025. You know, you never late to the party when you can go get it. You can go get it. I definitely recommend this book because you're missing out if you don't read this book. So yeah, that is all of the books, my top 10 of 2024. I cannot wait to see, like, when I look back on this a year from now, I cannot wait to see if my reading style has changed, or my reading style, not my reading style, if my reading taste has changed, how many more books I read, etc. I'm just so excited for this year of reading. And yeah, let me know if you had some in common with me as far as what your top 10 of the year was. If you have any recommendations based on what my top 10 were, let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. I'm all for it. Make sure you also go follow me on my Bookstagram at Alicia's Library. I'm going to put it on the screen right here. Okay. But yeah, I would love to talk with y'all about the books and things. So meet me in the comments, okay? And make sure you subscribe. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. And like the video. Okay, I'm done. But yeah, that is it. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.